So when you think about that wealth of data, we're really able to cherry pick the absolute best group of customers for a brand to reach. And I think what's really exciting is now we're able to provide those audiences, provide that optimal group of customers to brands in a way that is right for them for how they want to use it.
You're listening to Retail Remix, your inside access to candid conversations with the people shaping retail's future. Here's your host, Alicia Esposito.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Retail Remix. This week, we're going to do another replay from the 2024 Retail Innovation Conference and Expo. And I wanted to really put this session at the top of our replay list because the topic at hand is so hot right now, and that's connected TV, also known as CTV. And we had someone from Roku on the pod a little while back talking about the evolution of CTV, the trends and opportunities. So I thought it was important to circle back, so to speak, not just see what Roku was up to, but also dig into a real life success story featuring Walgreens and Walgreens Advertising Group. So for this session, we have McKnight, Head of Industry Retail at Roku, as well as Katie Vogt, who is Senior Director of Client Success at Walgreens Advertising Group. And what is most interesting about this session is we really get the full picture of the CTV advertising opportunity. Caitlin is able to share just how vast this ecosystem is, as well as this audience. Highly engaged consumers who are not just consuming content, but interacting with ads. That is a big opportunity. Meanwhile, Katie is on the retail media / brand and retailer side. So she's really able to express why CTV is so attractive for her and her business, and how Walgreens has been able to test CTV in order to address very specific goals. In one case, it was to drive awareness and engagement with a new delivery offering in the midst of the holiday shopping sprint. So listen in, because this entire landscape of CTV is maturing and evolving at a rapid pace, and I think this is a great conversation for you to not just understand where it is today, where it could possibly go, but also get some tangible takeaways and advice from two people who are truly immersed in this world of CTV.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us. Thanks for the great introduction. I'm Caitlin. I run the retail vertical at Roku. So I oversee all of the retail enterprise business with all of our media agencies and media clients.
And hello, everyone. I'm Katie Vogt. I lead client success for Walgreens Advertising Group. So I have our sales team, account management team, as well as our execution team who does the hands-on keyboard buying for our campaigns.
Great. So we're going to talk about some shoppable TV. Anyone in the room ever bought anything off their TV yet? The girls at Roku. Well trained, well trained. Has anyone ever bought anything off their phone? Good. Katie and I were joking before about all the packages that come to our house that we try to hide from our husbands because of all the online or the phone shopping that we do for our family needs. But to kick it off, Katie, I'd love to start with you. Would love to hear a little bit about the benefits of the retail media network at WAG and how you guys are using Walgreens data to transform it, into action and opportunities.
For sure. So the main benefit of working with a retail media network is the power of our first-party data. So everything we do is based on our customer insights. And then we also have the connection to an ecosystem of omni-channel media platforms on our site, off our site, in our stores. So you're really taking the power of that data and the ability to reach a very specific customer, and then you're finding them wherever they're shopping. And I would say there's a couple key maybe learnings or best practices that we've employed as we've launched Walgreens Advertising Group and really scaled our business. The first has to do with the data. So everything we do, like I said, really starts with insights. So when we think about the media strategy, be it the audience or the channel or even your measurement plan, it's all starting with those customer insights. The second learning we've had is that we at Walgreens Advertising Group, we're part of big Walgreens, if you will. And there's a lot of learnings that we can get from our enterprise teams. So when Walgreens Enterprise is testing and learning with new capabilities, like something like Shoppable TV, we then know we can learn from them and bring those same capabilities to our brand partners and our advertisers that we work with. So those are really some of the main learnings that we've had. I would say if I would add one more, it would be around innovation. And we're always looking for new growth opportunities, and we're always looking for where's the industry heading. And I think Shoppable TV is one of those areas that has really been evolving and emerging and has a lot of runway. So excited to talk to you about that today. And I have a question for you, and I'll flip it back over to you. I want you to dig in a little more around how you see TV streaming and retail media networks like Walgreens Advertising Group working the best together. I know that we want to help each other. We want to drive more commerce through the TV screen as well. So what are some best practices and things we can do to make that happen?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I would say, I asked her to raise the hands of who shops on their TV, just the girls from Roku, but who shops on their phone? A lot of us, right? There we go. Think 10 years ago, I didn't even think I'd be shopping on my phone, right? It was kind of like a weird moment. We were all getting used to it. We were scared to put our credit cards in certain places. And now look at us. I'm on Amazon more times a day than I'm willing to admit. But when it comes to Shoppable on TV, I'd say the synergy between retail media networks and CTV is the two are really joining forces right now. Like Katie said, it's all about reaching the precise consumer at the right time when they're in the shopper journey. So the more exact the data is, all the first-party data that the retail media networks can bring and target against, it's all just going to benefit and push everyone down that purchase funnel and quicken that path to purchase. Some of the best practices we have are really starting with a lot of our A/B testing that we're doing on screen. So because Roku is one of the larger TV platforms out there, we reach about over 200 million people a month. We're able to really get a lot of data in and understand user behaviors, especially as we're really teaching people how to shop off the TV for the first time. The pandemic really escalated that. Everyone wanted things when they wanted them and wanted them right away. And they got more comfortable with even renting movies off their TVs and using their credit card to buy another streaming service, using their Roku remote, like you said, kids love it. Someone I met yesterday was saying that their kids even sleep with it in their bed because they love it so much and they love playing with it. But all of that has really helped us escalate and do more of that A/B testing. To speak about specific best practices for any brands looking to test, we do find that using 30-second ad creative is best. And then not using QR codes. We'd like everything to be remote-based. If you think about it, a lot of people are streaming with the remote right in their hand. So it's really easy for them and frictionless just to click OK on their screen, and we'll show you guys what that looks like, versus taking out their phone and going like this and trying to get that QR code, etc. We're also finding when brands have a call to action in their creative and break the fourth wall, that really helps too. So we've done some with some retailers where it says, okay, now this is an interactive ad. Click OK to shop or learn more. And breaking that fourth wall obviously helps the person on their couch streaming understand, okay, let me make an action now in order to make the purchase.
I think my 4-year-old could successfully buy something off of our Roku.
So it's funny you say that. We're going to start putting pins and security codes on stuff just to make sure that, he's not buying too many Hot Wheels and sending them home.
Thank you for that, because he's very proficient at the Roku. I usually wake up on Saturday mornings and he is on the couch already watching YouTube on our Roku. So he could definitely buy something.
I know. They are very, very smart at such a young age. Katie, tell me a little bit about Walgreens and how they've tested any shoppable ads in CTV or TV in general.
So Walgreens has tested some shoppable TV ads, and we'll have it play on the screen behind us here, hopefully. But this, we ran an ad for our winter holidays, and we featured a free 1-hour delivery promotion. And you can see here we also employed the OK to text functionality. So using your Roku remote, you would engage with the OK to text and enter your phone number, and then you would receive a text back with more information about the promotion and a link to shop. So we were really excited about this campaign that we ran. It exceeded benchmarks with the click-through rate. So knowing that OK to text was really engaging customers, driving them to click, and also to spend more time with the ad. Because they're actually taking an action right there as it's running, they're spending more time with it and, considering Walgreens for a longer extended period of time. So what this means for Walgreens Advertising Group, I mentioned we'd been working hard to really break down silos in our organization so that as our Walgreens enterprise team is testing and learning with Roku and with Shoppable TV, we then can bring that same capability to our brands and advertisers. So the solution that Walgreens Advertising Group has stood up is we've really democratized the availability of our first-party data audiences. We, for use with programmatic CTV buys, including shoppable CTV. So we have 120 million My Walgreens members. We just are up from 118 million. It was really a milestone to reach 120.
Congrats.
I know, really exciting moment. I think our comms and PR team were the most excited. But so when you think about that wealth of data, we're really able to cherry pick the absolute best group of customers for a brand to reach. And I think what's really exciting is now we're able to provide those audiences, provide that optimal group of customers to brands in a way that is right for them for how they want to use it. So we have a partnership with the Trade Desk where brands can access our audiences on their seat at the Trade Desk, and they can use our audiences, either a custom audience we build for them, so think lapsed buyers of a brand or a specific category buyer, or they can use more of our kind of syndicated or off-the-shelf audiences, allergy buyers, cough, cold buyers. And they, as they're making their CTV buy, of which Roku inventory is a part of that, they can actually target our Walgreens shoppers. And then the beauty of reaching a specific Walgreens shopper who we know is that they can then tie back the measurement and understand, did this shoppable CTV ad actually drive those customers we reach to go into store or to go online and make a purchase. So we've been really excited about the results for the Walgreens enterprise and how we've been able to bring that to our brands and make it so that their CTV ads can work harder and be more effective through the use of that first-party data.
It's probably great for competitive conquesting too for a lot of the brands, right? Like I think like Crest versus Colgate in store. How can they then see who's a lapsed buyer of their competitor and retarget that, I'm sure, and kind of beat out each other.
Exactly. When you think about 120 million My Walgreens members and just the scale of 8,700 stores and our store footprint, we have 90 million app downloads. That's so much data. We can really get down to the SKU level. When you're talking about that kind of scale, you could actually target someone who's buying one specific product, yours, a competitor's, something within an adjacent category that you think would help acquire a customer to your brand. And so that's really powerful to be able to get to that kind of specificity in order to meet a specific brand objective that you might have. So now I'm going to pass it back to you, Caitlin, and I want to talk a little bit more about this journey that Shoppable TV has been on and how it's evolved. So what are some of the challenges that exist for brands and advertisers who might want to first get started with Shoppable TV?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say it's evolving really quickly. Retail Media Networks has really helped us catapult what Shoppable TV is about because of all the amazing data like WAG has. In terms of some challenges, I think some brands think of shopper marketing money and whatnot from a retail media space. When you come to CTV, think of it, it's TV. It's a lean back moment. You need more branding campaigns sometimes. So having the right creative is really important. It's things we help some brands with, but obviously something to really think about. Also the messaging in the creative and what those best practices look like. We have a laundry list of them. I won't bore you with them now, but always something we're happy to share and teach in the marketplace. But as this evolves, we are just doing so much testing and learning, like I said earlier. We recently did a test with a personal care company and found, it was with our Instacart partnership, and found that people who came and shopped through Roku, like you saw with the Walgreens example, 60% of them came back to shop the brand, converted, to shop this brand, and then they're spending 1.5 times more on that brand in the future. So it's sticky. It really is. And I think when you're in a lean back moment in your living room, but engaging like that and activating like that, you're kind of meeting the two of the best worlds of high awareness and also stuff like what shopper marketing teams do. So where there are some difficulties for some brands to get in the CTV space and have the right assets and creative and best practices, we're all learning together with all this being so new. So, teams like WAG and Roku are really here to help.
And I really love this view of Shoppable TV's evolution and how we can help each other kind of encourage brands to overcome maybe some of the historical barriers because all of it's tied to data. You talking about testing and learning, A/B testing, leveraging the retail media data and insights to really inform. I feel like that's where the power of the Roku data and the testing that you've done and then the data that we can bring, the two together, really are 1 + 1 = 3.
Absolutely. And I would say to any brands that are listening, don't be scared just to try something, right? You have to start somewhere, get the learnings, and optimize as you go. You're not going to know it all the first time. Sometimes companies offer beta opportunities just to get learnings under your belt. But definitely don't be scared just to jump in, just to get those learnings. That's what it's really about in the beginning. Talking a lot about data here, but Katie, I'd love to hear from you more about WAG's planning process around data. Does the data drive it? Do the client objectives drive it? But how do you guys take on that planning process for all of this?
It's definitely a mix of both. We usually start with the client objective, and then we dig into the data to help inform what the strategy would be. And I think a huge aspect of that is the first-party data and those 120 million My Walgreens members. But we've really started to expand our data set even beyond just historical buying behavior, where things like lapsed buyers or category buyers are really important. But when we think about how do we use this data to inform a media strategy, we've connected our My Walgreens data to media receptivity data. So now we would know an allergy sufferer at Walgreens who's buying allergy products, they are more receptive to CTV, or they are more receptive to social or to direct mail. And you really start to see that different customers at Walgreens have different media receptivity. And so it's really the power of kind of those multiple attributes about a customer that are informing our strategy. And it'll inform both the audience strategy, who we're reaching, as well as the media channel strategy, but also the measurement strategy, which lends to CTV because I feel like we're at this interesting point with CTV where the KPIs could be shifting, or you might have different KPIs based on your objective. And so you may think about CTV as upper funnel, but as we're moving into shoppable, as you're moving into using retail media data, you can actually start to have KPIs in addition to awareness that might be more akin to consideration, and now with shoppable and that closed loop reporting, even conversion.
You're hired. I think that's our sales pitch.
We're going to take this on the road. So do you have any data that maybe Roku has based on campaigns that have run that maybe inform recommended price points or product categories that brands might focus on?
Yeah, we've done a lot of testing here. We find that if you're going the product-centric route and you want to really, not a CPG product, but a gifting product, we're finding that those are performing the best. So anything that someone will buy for someone else or something for themselves. We are finding a price point of under $100 is also performing really well. I don't think I'd buy a new dining room set off my TV. I'd want to maybe go in store or read the reviews, etc. But, if there's an air fryer on there for $70 and I need a new air fryer, I'd buy that off my TV. I don't know about you guys. So we're learning a little bit there. We're also finding that when we add a lot of these shoppable layers in content, and the content is relevant to what is being, what the product is in the ad, there's a higher success rate there and better performance. For instance, if you see someone, packing for a weekend away in a rom-com movie maybe, and they're packing all their toiletries and it says shop for all your toiletries here at Walgreens, it's just that much more contextually relevant. So we're finding that as well, especially in the within retail, within clothes and apparel. That's really where performance is triggering really high.
Yeah, those are really helpful data points that we can bring to brands. I know with the Walgreens ad, including the free same-day delivery or the free 1-hour delivery. Yep. So in a lot of our digital advertising, we always recommend having a promotion. And so this helped validate with Shoppable TV that having a promotion, having that kind of trigger to really make you want to press OK. Yep. And kind of collect on what that value and that savings is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say any type of offer too. If there's like a $2 off or something that has like an end date, like do this by Friday, all of those we really find, especially because the text message then lives in your phone indefinitely, like a text message does. So even if someone's getting it right then and there, they're going to go, maybe the commercial break ends and they finish watching their show, they'll come back to it because subconsciously they remember there's an offer or a date to it that it expires at.
So you talked a little bit about some best practices with creative, but anything else you want to call out when it comes to call to actions related to Shoppable TV and how CPG brands or retail should be using Shoppable TV to really drive the most engagement?
Yeah, like I said earlier, breaking that fourth wall is really important, having that call to action. For CPG brands too, just thinking about what the product is and making sure you can then deliver it or get it to a person in the right way. We had some brands test grocery in the past, which gets a little finicky, of course, because you want something with an hour or 2-hour delivery. But when you
with Walgreens, you can.
Exactly, 1-hour delivery. But basically, it's for CPG brands, we're seeing some of the highest spikes in performance. Like I said, it's in that sweet spot of under $100. Maybe you need toothpaste for the weekend, you just ran out, or you saw it in the kids' bathroom, it's almost gone. Stuff like that, that just easy products that you just buy without even thinking sometimes.
So let's talk about success. Maybe we'll end on what's been successful and any early signs of success for retail or CPG brands in the Shoppable TV or retail media space. I can start by reflecting a little bit on the KPI discussion we were having, where I think a sign of success is that we are seeing that conversion and consideration are becoming more standard KPIs for Shoppable CTV as we've had that convergence of retail media data that really can enable that closed loop reporting. And so I'm really excited about that because it's really making all of our campaigns into full funnel campaigns. Even if it's one channel that we're running that is CTV, when you make it shoppable, now you're having an awareness campaign that also can be lower funnel. And in that same instance, in that same campaign, you're driving an individual down the funnel to convert. So I think really success that we've seen is that we are driving that conversion, we're driving those clicks, and people are adding to cart once they receive that text message and can shop. Anything else that you're seeing as signs of success?
We are defining success on a few things. The first is making sure we're teaching this new behavior, right? We want people to be comfortable shopping on their TV. We don't want people to be scared the way I was 10 years ago putting my credit card into my Instagram account, for instance. That was probably less than 10 years ago, geez. But we want to make sure there's a comfortability there. We want to train that action. We want to make sure everyone understands that there is data behind it. So you're not just getting that ad for the 1-hour delivery for maybe no reason. You are a relevant customer to Walgreens. So all the data is just so, so important when you look at success and how we measure success. The other piece of it is using the right creative. Like I've said a few times here, I'm kind of going back to that, we're even finding brands using social and YouTube creative as well, which is really resonating and working. So like I said earlier, don't be scared to test the waters and jump in and bring these types of creatives to us. But just make sure you have the right data, the right targeting, you're reaching the right audience. Without that, this synergy between retail media and CTV, it's not going to work, I promise.
So I feel like our main takeaways are test and learn and use data and insights to do so.
Absolutely. And don't be scared. Test new waters with us.
We're here to help.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. All right, I'll do my quick 60. First of all, I love that you did your own recap. That was amazing. But I'm going to do my kind of 60-second recap from outside the bottle looking in. So firstly, what I took away, at least with Roku, Caitlin, what you were saying, is that Roku's really like training that muscle of Shoppable, which is awesome. And 200 million users, that's a huge base.
A lot of people to train
on. But one thing that stuck out to me that I really love, that eye-popping stat about how much more people will use the remote than use QR codes. I think that's brilliant. I think we're in this space now where we're getting desensitized to seeing QR codes on literally everything, and they're not contextual. Anecdotally, we're doing all the AR campaigns for Warner and the NHL, that if you, on streaming and Max, you do the QR code and then you're doing AR, it's contextual, but it makes perfect sense that, like, why would you pull out your phone when you're watching a show and then you're just going to .com to shop anyway? It's so easy on the actual remote itself. So I think that's just like a really smart, forward-looking indicator that the data shows use the clicker.
I will add, we did a little study, and it's kind of sad, but Americans are so addicted to their phone and their remote. So you're either streaming and watching with one or the other right in your hand. So it's crazy to think, but it's just almost like subconscious now. People are clicking.
It's a really great point. And I would say, Katie, yeah, your 4-year-old and my son would be best friends. Watch some Bluey, buy a bunch of stuff for their bank account. But the thing that you said that I really love, kind of that what you're offering at Walgreens, really democratizing the availability of first-party data. And then from the outside looking in, like, first-party data is the oil that makes it's the rocket fuel. It's everything. And even outside of this, like, just announced in the last 24 hours of Sam Altman, they're going to open up ChatGPT to NGOs and to academia. And it's not because it's the goodness of their heart. It's because they need that first-party data with cookie deprecation, with all these things happening that is singularly the most important thing in the world. So the fact that you're showing the power of what you're able to do with that first-party data and do kind of that passive personalization that people want as opposed to being intrusive, really, really powerful. So I want to say a big round of applause for our wonderful panel here. So let's give them a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Retail Remix. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can find us on your favorite podcast player. Until next time, keep mixing it up.